back to my channel. My name is Shelby and today I'm going to be talking about a handful of authors that I discovered this year in 2021 and that I think you guys should check out. Some of them are new authors that only started publishing books this year, and some have been publishing for several years, but I just now discovered them in 2021. I will link all of the authors down below that I talk about. I'd love to hear some that you've discovered this year and that you love, and let's get right into it. I'm only going to talk about authors that I've at least read like 2 or 3 of their books because there's a lot of new authors I discovered, but I've only read like 1 of their books. So I want to talk about people that I've kind of dabbled into more than 1 of their reads. The first author I've mentioned on my channel before a couple of times, and that is Elsie Silver. She is a brand new debut author. She has written 3 full-length novels and 1 novella, and I've read all of them this year. She wrote the Gold Rush Ranch series, and I believe there's going to be 1 more book coming out in the series. You have enemies to lovers in the first book, a kind of second chance military force proximity romance in the second book, and in the third book you also have an enemies to lovers situation. And these books are so good. They are small town, they are set in a ranch with horse racing, so that is kind of unique and a kind of sporty element. These books will also have you feeling something. They had twists, they had a lot of emotion. If you love strong heroines, you will love these books. And then for Kennedy Fox, I've read nearly 20 of their books this year. Kennedy Fox is actually 2 authors that write together, and I binged a couple of their series in particular. The original series is the Bishop Brothers series that has 4 books, and then the spin-off second generation series is called the Circle B Ranch, and that has a bunch of books in it as well. And you have all the tropes that you could want in both of these series. You have friends to lovers, enemies to lovers, one night stand, single dad. You just have so many different tropes. And these are cowboy small town romances, and they are just quick and a lot of fun. Stacy Travis is an author that actually went to college very close to me, and so her books are set in the Bay Area in California, and I love that about them because I can relate so much to them. And the series I've binged by her that is still in process is the Berkeley Hills series. In this series, you have second chance romance, you have brother's best friend, sports romance. All the characters in this series are over 30, I believe, so you kind of have a little bit of the older crowd, and I really like that, and all of them just feel so real, and I love that, and that's really what attracted me to this series. Then I have Charity Pharrell, and she wrote the Twisted Fox series, and that's the only series that I've read by her, but she's finished it this year. And this series is about people who all work at the same bar in a small town, and this is a very dramatic series, so if you like romance with tons of drama, I think you would love this. They are short and fun romances, and like I said, they all have like a bar setting. There is forbidden romance, single dad, friends to lovers. Just have a lot of different tropes in this series. And then I've read 2 books by Julia Jarrett. I've read the 2 books that have been published so far in the Dogwood Cove series. It's a small town romance set in Canada. The first book is Brother's Best Friend, and the second book is a fake dating romance, and both of them are really good. The third book comes out, I believe, in January, and I'm really excited for that one. Kelly Elliott is an author who has a very extensive backlist, but I binged her Meet Me in Montana series this year, and I did enjoy them. They are super dramatic, kind of similar to Charity Pharrell, but make it cowboy. So they're small town, like I said, cowboy romances. The first one is single dad romance. The second one is forced proximity. The third one is also kind of forced proximity, and the fourth one is a friends to lovers. Another 2021 debut author is Brit Benson, and she is currently writing the Better Love series, and I read the first 2 books in that series, and it is a new adult series. The first book is Friends to Lovers, and the second book is Enemies to Lovers, and both of the main characters in that story are bakers, and I loved these books so much. I started reading Winter Renshaw this year, and her books are really good. I rated them all 4 stars, and all of them have been so different from one another, so she writes such a variety of different books. I've read Absinthe, which is a teacher-student romance, and they met online, so very forbidden. I read a small town romance by her. I also read an Amnesia forbidden romance by her, and a sports single mom tennis romance. I read 2 of Janine Colette's backlist titles this year, but I loved them. One was a friends to lovers romance that both the main characters work in the same hospital together, And then I read a small town romance, and this one was rather emotional, and overall her books were just really good, and I would love to read more by her. I've read 2 books by Jenna Hartley. I read the first book in 2 of her series. I read Unexpected, which is the first book in the Love in LA series, and this is a single mom employee nanny romance, and the single mom is older than the hero. And this one was really good, but even more I loved Feels Like Love, and this is the first book in her Alondra Valley series that she has not published any more books in yet, but I know more is coming in 2022. And this was a forced proximity single mom brother's best friend romance, and it was amazing. Then I read a few books by Fabula Francisco. I read the first 2 books in her Carlisle Cellars series, and that's her newest series this year. And this is a small town romance series where all the main characters work at the same winery. And I read a standalone of hers called Right Kind of Wrong, and this was an accidental pregnancy romance set in Spain. That one was really good. And overall I like her writing, especially if you like small town romances. Then I read the Sugarlake series by Emily Mcintyre. This was her debut series, and I think she started writing them last year, but I only started reading them in 2021. And this is a super angsty romance series. The first book is a second chance friends to lovers romance. The second one is enemies to lovers sports romance. The third is a forbidden age gap romance, and the fourth one is also a forbidden romance. They are all really good, and I would recommend them if you were looking for some ultra angst. The last author is Lena Hendricks. I read the 3 books that have been published in her Chickaloo Falls series. I don't know if any more books are coming out in the series, but I know she has a new series coming out in 2022. These are small town books, I believe, set in Montana. The first book is a kind of pen pal romance meets military romance. The second book is a one night stand turns to second chance romance, kind of rivals as well because the hero and heroine are fighting for the same office space. And the third book was a childhood friends to enemies to lovers single mom romance. All really good, and I'd recommend all of them. So yeah, those are some authors that I discovered this year that I just wanted to share with you guys in case you are looking for new authors to add to your radar. Like I said, I will link all the authors that I talked about down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys on my next one. Bye.